Welcome to this edition of INN's CEO Talks. Joining me today is Ilan Sobel, the CEO of BioHarvest Sciences, which trades on the CSE under the symbol BHSC and on the OTC under the symbol CNVCF and on the Frankfurt Exchange under the symbol 8MV. BioHarvest Sciences is the developer and owner of proprietary and patent-protected biofarming technology. It is the industrial large-scale plant cell growth technology capable of directly and consistently producing the active plant ingredients without the necessity to grow the plant itself. The technology has already been validated by Vinia, the red grape's cells function food dietary supplement produced and sold by BioHarvest. And now, by adapting this technology to cannabis and building adequate cell production capacity, the company's objective is to be the supplier of choice of cannabis for organizations that seek fingerprint consistency and purity. Joining me now is Ilan Sobel. Ilan, you've had some pretty exciting news over the past few months and lots of recent news. So let's just start with a quick overview of BioHarvest Sciences and its technology.
Well, firstly, Stuart, it's great to see you again. And yes, the past few months has been an amazing journey with a lot of significant milestones that we've announced as a company. For many of the audience that may not know BioHarvest Sciences, we are a biotech company. We see ourselves as the biotech leaders of the plant kingdom. We have spent over the last 12 years more than $35 million in inventing an amazing technology that we call biofarming. Biofarming is a technology platform that today we've applied across our polyphenol vertical, as well as you discussed a little bit earlier in your introduction. We're bringing this technology to life in a unique way in the cannabis vertical. The technology, put it simply, allows us to be able to use the plant once, and we're able to literally take any plant or any fruit, and we're able to take any essential active ingredient which the human body needs from that particular plant or fruit. And we're able to grow these essential active ingredients, which are important from a health and wellness perspective, in cells. And we're able to focus on primary metabolites like proteins, as well as secondary metabolites like polyphenols, antioxidants, and cannabinoids. And literally, we take the plant once, we take the specific active ingredients that we want, we focus, and we're able to grow these essential active ingredients in cells. Once we grow the cells from Petri dish, we move them into bioreactors. And in a 21-day cycle, we're able to grow our cells to a specific body mass. And after the 21 days, we harvest the cells, and we're left with a very soluble, bioavailable, and active powder that in the cases that you mentioned with our product Vinia, which is our red grape cell powder, which contains Parseed resveratrol. In fact, it's the only dietary supplement in North America that contains Parseed resveratrol from the skin of the red grape at a level of concentration whereby we actually increase the concentration level 100 times more than what is found in the red grape itself. And together with a matrix of other polyphenols, more like a systematic effect, we're able to, with polyphenols including catechin, quercetin, tannins, and anthocyanins, we're able to have a highly active product working together, which is very focused in the cardiovascular health space, as well as in providing consumers with increased physical energy and mental alertness. And the key mechanism of action of our Vinia is we're able to significantly increase the dilation of one's arteries. In fact, this has been proven in our clinical trials, which have been all published in peer-reviewed scientific journals, where we've been able to actually demonstrate amongst our sample base the ability to increase dilation of arteries by at least 70%. So with this technology, with this unique technology, we've now applied this to cannabis, and we're going to be bringing to market in the by the end of the first half of 2022, a grade of cannabis the market has never seen before.
You know, one of the things that, there's a few things that I find absolutely remarkable about what you're doing. Number one, it's what you're able to produce, but it's how you do it without having to take up vast amounts of agricultural space. You get to do it, indoors, and add to that the remarkable consistency. This is what really, adds to the technology of the product that you're developing. It truly is remarkable.
Look, this is the power of the technology. At the end of the day, we built this technology, and at its core, it's all about sustainability is at its core of the technology. It's not like an add-on for us as a company. Sustainability is really a critical component of the technology. We use the plant once. We are non-GMO. We grow our cells in an aseptic environment. So there's the level of cleanliness, because we don't use fertilizer. There's no pesticide. There's no heavy metals. There is no solvents. And we actually, as you said, we have what I like to call fingerprint consistency, because we're literally, in the case of Vinia, we're growing from a cell bank of consistent cells that we continuously grow our red grape cells from. And in the case of our cannabis that we'll be bringing to market next year, we've actually been growing from the same cell reservoir for 2 years. 2 years, Stuart. The same cell reservoir. So the same level of fingerprint consistency that we've been growing now for 2 years. We celebrated our 2-year anniversary from the same cell reservoir a few weeks ago with a significant announcement, which talked about the fact that not only do we have this level of consistency and cleanliness, but what's really unique that people don't really understand, I talk about 21 days. It's 3 to 4 weeks in the case of cannabis, but we are in perpetual, literally perpetual flowering with cannabis. So we're skipping the seedling stage and the vegetating stage. We don't need to do this. So as a result, literally with our technology, we're able to put in approximately anywhere from like 14 to 15 cycles per year, because we're in perpetual flowering, and then we go into harvesting, and it's just a continuous perpetual process. Unlike some of the top producers out there that they taking anywhere between 14 and 21 weeks, and anywhere between 4 to 5 cycles a year. And then from a sustainability perspective, what's amazing about the technology, and something that we're all really proud of, and in fact 2 weeks ago, Stuart, we actually shared with the marketplace our ESG sustainability report. And in fact, we're the first biotech company in the world that's focused on producing cannabinoids to actually produce an ESG sustainability report. Now, there's a reason why we're the first in this context. And I think people are well aware of the pressures and the challenges facing cannabis companies as it relates to the environmental challenges that they're dealing with on an everyday basis. And we're very, very fortunate we don't have those issues. We use 99.99 recurring, less land. As I said, no fertilizer, no pesticides, no solvents, no heavy metal. And in fact, it's so unique that 100% of our water that we use is biodegradable and goes back into the system. So these are many aspects that make us very proud of what we do every day, and the way we're changing the world, bringing the world these essential active ingredients from plants in order to promote health and wellness amongst our consumers, and doing what's right for the environment from generation to generation, ensuring we're leaving the world in a better place for our children and our grandchildren.
So what are next steps for you then as you move towards cannabis sales, from where we are now to when you're going to be in the marketplace?
So for us right now, we're in the scaling scaling commercialization stage over the next 6 to 9 months. We've talked a lot in the last few weeks with our shareholder partners and just with the broader public, because there's obviously a lot of interest in what we're doing. And that interest is actually driven by the fact that we're the only company in the world that's actually able to grow trichomes in liquid media. I'll say that again.
Is that what yeah. So is that what a biotrichome bubble is?
So I'll talk a little bit about our biotrichome bubble. So first, let's start with the trichome, just for some of the people that are going to be watching this. The trichome is that mini factory that sits on the cannabis plant that's producing the cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids. So it's super critical, and we've been able to demonstrate the ability to actually optimize the growth of these trichomes, ensuring that our cells are able to grow these trichomes in liquid media. And frankly, that's a historical feat. There is no other academic institution or other major company in the world that has been able to come close to doing that. And in fact, for us, it's a historical milestone because, Stuart, there's no textbooks and there's no literature out there. So for our team of scientists, they are like pioneers. They are pioneering every step of this journey in creating really a Bible as it relates to growing cannabis in liquid media. And what's unique about our trichomes, which we call our biotricho bubbles, and there's a reason why we call them biotricho bubbles, and that's because of the uniqueness of the density of our trichomes. So some people who are very familiar in the industry, they may be familiar with bubble hash or what's called ice hash. And what these products, which are really on the high end, the highest end of the cannabis spectrum, what they are is when actual companies, they take the trichomes from their stem, the little stem that the trichome sits on, and they physically sift the trichomes with a physical sifter. And therefore, you're able to get all these little bubbles, all these trichomes together. And hence, you get an amazing density of trichomes. And what's unique for us is that in our natural growth process, we're actually able to get the same density of trichomes in our bioreactors, where we see the trichomes all coming together with the same level of density. And that's why we've actually termed and branded our trichomes biotricho bubbles. And that's going to be very, very important for us from a productivity and from an efficiency perspective. Okay. On the road to commercialization, I know it sounds like futuristic, but we're take a deep breath. It's all happening in front of our eyes, just with a tremendous amount of talented scientists, which, by the way, it's important to acknowledge, Stuart, they've been doing this now for 12 years. So the learning curve that we have as a company is just very, very unique. And so from a commercialization perspective, what's ahead for us is we will continue to refine our drying processes because we have a unique trichome, and we're actually only drying the cell and the trichome. And so our cannabis mass, our end cannabis mass, biomass, will be a combination of cell and trichome, which is very, very unique compared to traditional cannabis biomass, which has many more of components of the plant. So we're obviously working now to optimize our drying process, optimize our cannabinoid levels, and there's the classical, commercialization optimization process that we're working through. In addition, we're now working through starting to work through the regulation process. And we're at that point now where we're getting close to the line where we got to make sure that we're working side by side with the respective jurisdictions and regulatory bodies to make sure that we're getting the appropriate approvals. And in fact, today we announced an important announcement, which was part of a month-long process where we interviewed a number of different top law firms who had tremendous experience in the cannabis space in the US and in Canada. And we announced that DLA Pipper will be representing us in the US market, and Gowling WLG will be representing us in the Canadian market. So I'm really excited to have the team from these two law firms. We've got very talented, experienced people. John and Stephanie from DLA Piper, and Lewis from Gowlings, and we're starting to move and we're starting to really gain that momentum.
I can feel your enthusiasm all the way over here in North America. We've gone way beyond our allotted time, but just give me a quick little recap so that investors can understand, the uniqueness of the opportunity that you are offering right now. Because not just on the cannabis side, but also on the nutraceutical side, you've already got products that are being sold in the US and so on. If you can just give us a quick little recap for investors so they can go, okay, I get it. This is a good time for me to be investing in BioHarvest Sciences.
Yeah, so I think the best way to express it is that as a biotech company that really are demonstrating true leadership position in the plant cell growth area, and leadership position in the broader plant kingdom, we've been able to demonstrate, utilizing our biofarming technology, the ability to bring essential active ingredients that the human body needs to function effectively to the consumer in basically a very unique format, whereby we're non-GMO, we maintain the natural composition and structure of the active ingredient, and we've been able to demonstrate our ability to bring it to market in the polyphenol verticals with our Vinia product, which is the red grape cell product that we sell today in Israel. We've built a significant business here in Israel already, and we've just launched 6 weeks ago in the US, and we've seen since our launch in end of May very, very strong signals, and specifically focused from an e-commerce perspective, and that's really exciting as we see the momentum. And then so we've demonstrated the capability to commercialize the technology in the polyphenol vertical. We've now well along the path to demonstrate the ability to commercialize our powerful technology in cannabis vertical. And as a company, it's a platform IP company that's able to operationalize their R&D and bring it to market. We will start to bring this amazing technology to other verticals where we can really demonstrate unique, sustainable, inimitable competitive advantage. And what do I mean by sustainable, inimitable competitive advantage? Cannabis is the best example. We will be unique in the cannabis space because of our consistency, because of our cleanliness, because it's full spectrum, because we have a cost advantage as a result of our manufacturing process, and a delivery of sustainability credentials that's unbeatable. I challenge anybody in the industry in this space. And therefore, because of the uniqueness of our technology, it's very much inimitable, which is the most important thing from a competitive advantage perspective. It needs to be sustainable and inimitable. So we will continue to bring our technology to other verticals where we can create significant disruptive value for the end consumer as a result of leveraging the power of the plant kingdom and unlocking the cellular biological secrets of the plant kingdom to bring this value to consumers and, of course, to our shareholder partners.
It's a pretty exciting future that you've got there, and I'm watching closely, and I'm hoping that you'll come back and give us an update in a couple of months, because I think that what you're doing truly is you're a global leader in this field. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you, Stuart. We're purpose-driven, and we love what we do, and we're making a difference, which is it's a special place to be.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.